Loago'S True Colors by Pearl Myers. Ngambao Junior Secondary School, Okavango District. Narrated by Yolanda Chainda. Maitlamo Junior Secondary School, Maung.
Memories of her childhood always made her cry. Not so long ago, she would sit on top of a mozinzela tree, most of the time when she was sent to gather fruits by her aunt. With her cheeks wet, she'd remember how life seemed to be so idyllic at her younger age, way back before her parents passed away. Now her world was crumbling down like a sand castle. Things had fallen apart, her hopes and dreams. Since her childhood, she forever yearned of becoming a social worker. That was the least she could do to make her late parents proud. The fact that she was denied her childhood kept on drilling harshly into her heart. Sometimes she could think of scoring her skin or punching herself to make the pain fade away. Her heart burned, but she still swore not to let that dishearten her. I will do it. Even during the most daring times, I will do it. That was the prayer she always recited. After the burial of her parents, her aunt Poloko volunteered to adopt Huizi. Back then she used to work as a cleaner at Mkhoto Clinic, taking good care of Huizi, just like she promised the elders when she took her. Even school became more interesting for Huizi. Her spirit was buoyed after all. They carried on like that until Poloko introduced alcohol and her boyfriend into her life. Aunt Poloko was forever drinking. Her boyfriend Loago was of no use. Indeed, birds of the same feather flocked together. Hunger then took on, and it was Huizi's burden to care for the family. Her aunt always commanded her to go and gather fruits and fetch water at the river. So every day after school, she had to do exactly that. Mokhoto is a village surrounded by wild bushes, and Huizi had to go there alone. Junior certificate examinations were approaching, and Huizi had to give her full concentration to her studies. So she thought of talking to her aunt about it. Aunt P, actually the examinations are just around the corner. I cannot manage to go to the river every day after school. So I was wondering if we could find a piece job. Maybe you could ask my teachers. They might want someone to do their laundry. How dare you say such things to me? You should be thankful to me. Your so-called parents have failed. Moreover, I took you in and you don't even pay rent. Huizi, you're just an ungrateful idiot, said her ferocious auntie. With wet cheeks and a shaking voice, she tried to be calm and explain to her aunt what she meant. Actually, I thought... Before she could even finish her line, a palm slapped her hard. If you continue with these manners of yours, one day I'm going to pack you in a box and send you straight to hell where you will join your parents, her aunt threatened. Loago used that for his own benefit. He knew very well that Poloko considered Huizi deceitful. He now started to say some silly and daft comments whenever he was left alone with Huizi. He became so obsessed with her that his concentration was focused only on Huizi. Most of the time he would just stare at her and say, "You know, you have such luscious lips, and one day I wish to sleep next to that curvaceous body of yours." Huizi never responded to his dirty advances. One day she told her aunt, "I have a problem. Loago always makes sexual advances on me and that makes me uncomfortable. Can you please talk to him?" "Little girl, are you crazy? Why do you insult my man? Loago can't harass you in any way. You want to ruin my life, hey? I knew you were just a calamity from the time you moved in here. Now you want to take my man?" Huizi lost all hope. Loago's true colors came out one evening when Huizi arrived from school late after an extended study session. Her aunt Poloko was out, but Loago was in the house. Huizi changed into casual homewear and walked into the kitchen to prepare dinner. She didn't see Loago coming after her. When she turned, there he stood, naked in the kitchen. Before Huizi could scream, Loago grabbed her and blocked her mouth. He was as strong as a horse. Huizi tried to struggle free, but Loago was much stronger. "I told you I want this body. He breathed out the hot words that scalded her. "Give me this body. Let me taste these lips. Your aunt's lips are not sweet." "No, please, leave me alone," she protested. Logo punched her in the head, and Huitsi lost balance and became weak. Helpless, Logo pulled up her skirt and planted her on the kitchen worktop, where he raped her over and over. When he was done and heaving in satisfaction, he pulled her to the living room and dropped her like a sack of potatoes on the couch. "Wow," he said. Huitsi could hear him, though faintly, like he was speaking from the other side of the mountains. "Such deliciousness. We should do this again another time." Huitsi fainted. When her aunt arrived, she found Huitsi bleeding on the couch, unconscious. Quickly she checked for her pulse and called an ambulance. At the hospital, she was confirmed to have been raped. After 3 months, she was found to be HIV positive. "The monster," Poloko snarled, but her boyfriend had long vanished into thin air. Poloko held Huitsi's hand. "I'm sorry, my child. I should have listened to you. I'm so sorry." Later in the year, Huitsi safely gave birth to a baby boy. The baby was free of the virus. Her aunt had found a job and helped support Huitsi and her child. Huitsi went back to school and completed her studies. She was determined and strived even harder so that she could be better someday for the sake of her child.
Take-home message. Parents should believe and follow up what children tell them, as this builds trust and protects the child from any abuse that may arise. Rape victims should visit a healthcare provider within 3 days to receive emergency contraceptives and HIV post-exposure prophylaxis. This will prevent an unwanted pregnancy and HIV infection. There is life after HIV and unwanted pregnancy.